I am Eon, and it's time to look ahead at May 2025 3D printing preview for fantasy releases. Let's see what's coming out this month. First up, Arbiter Miniatures. Arbiter Miniatures is doing Death Knights this month. Many of these are still early previews and works in progress. The Beholder Miniatures has given us a small preview. These are druids, evergreen elves, half elf, half dryad, half plant. On the right, we have the Miners Command Group for the Dwarven Kingdoms, and these are the Silvermoor Elves Woodsmen. Belshazzar 3D Print has given us a small preview, with more of a teaser, really. Really curious to see what comes out this month from Belshazzar. Bestiarum Miniatures has given us a couple of previews, first from the Ashen Wastes. Pyramid Heads seem to be a pretty popular theme these days. Preview number 2 is the Wolf Banner Rises. Bite the Bullet Studios is doing Iconic Heroes this month. Some very unique sculpts. Here's our throwback pack that you'll get with Bite the Bullet. Here we see a human summoner along with her dragon. Must be a pretty high level summoner, I would think. A human kineticist and a dwarf gunslinger. A half-orc war priest and a human exemplar. Looks familiar. A dwarf ranger and a half-orc inventor. A human animist along with a deer. That looks to be made out of wood. I suppose that would be fitting for an animist. Here we have a Tengu oracle and a human barbarian. A human fighter and Saray, the human sorceress, who probably comes in an alternative version. Blackcrest Miniatures asked folks what they wanted, and they said eel folk. So here are the preview renders of the eel folk that Blackcrest is currently working on. Claudio Casini Art has put out a few previews. Here's the female druid multi-race. The female fairy warrior. I like that miniature. A male rhinoceros folk barbarian. Reminds me of Disney's Robin Hood. Lizardman folk summoner shaman priest. So whatever you want him to be. And an Etten. I don't think we need to say much more than that, do we? Goetia Creation has given us a small preview of what's to come this month. Claymore Miniatures this month is going to Death by Plague. So let's take a brief look at some of the concept art. Here's Faust the Eighth, Drekvar the Bold, Gareth Ashcloak, Plague Emissary. That's a lot going on there. A Plague Heir, the Rat King. Comet Lord Miniatures has given us a preview this month of the Crimson Rebels. Now, these come with some gun options, so they may be more of a sci-fi, but I feel like it's more of a gunpowder sort of thing. Here we have several different options just to show you how they can look. Then we have Levadius, the Kinslayer. Comes with a few options. Notice the sword has like a more of a pole arm option. Notice the handle is a bit shorter on the left and not so much on the right, but the blade looks to be about the same. And then we have the Ring Beast. Is that because there's eyes that ring around its head? I'm not sure. A lot going on with this mini as well. Crippled God Foundry has given us the preview for the Mad Alchemist. Of course, the Mad Alchemist Lab comes with pretty cool terrain, scatter terrain to set about with whatever experiments you want to carry out. Now, of course, you need a Mad Alchemist, so here we have Zavarin. On the right, we have the Serpent Roost, Beak Rend, Crow Griff, Porgs, and Bargs, Taraxian, and Zavorin as a mutated form. So naturally, he's been doing his experiments even on himself. DM Stash this month is doing the Fae Court. I'm looking forward to this. They are pretty excited about the cottage here, which has a fully playable interior. Here we see Aram Ra, Nature's Rage, and Gwynvol, the first daughter of Renmaith. Here is the owner of the Mushroom Hut, Cordelia, the Homestead Hermit, along with a bust. We have Elysian of the Spotless Wood, and Sonoria, the Noble-Hearted. Gungner of House Yernbark, and Trostica, the Vengeful. Jasmara the Jaded, and again there's Cordelia's Cottage, this time with text. We have Pontifex the Emerald-Eyed, and Fairy Queen Eucerios. I like the fact that these are original names. I like that. Here we have Fainroar the Fey-Touched, and Kilroy of Voxnia. Forgotten Knights, and Old Barkhorn, a Satyr Druid. Pretty cool release from DM Stash, as if they would do anything but. The Dragon's Trapper Lodge has given us a little bit of preview art, so we'll keep it pretty short here. Again, just to kind of refresh my memory and yours, for May we're looking at Legends of Artifice and the Crimson Inquisition Part 1. So I suppose these are Legends of Artifice. So for any of you that are into steampunk, this may be your month. A lot of previews there. And for the Crimson Inquisition, so I suppose these are Spanish Inquisition inspired, but they're vampires maybe? Or maybe they're just undead. I suppose we should best start believing in ghost stories. Really interested to see where the theme of this goes. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has given us more of the Knights of Sunstall, or the Empire of Sunstall. Here we have the Prelate, or Prelate, and here he is on horseback. We have the Prelate on the Altar of Battle. The Imperial Guard. Now these come with multiple weapon options. We'll look at that in the full preview, but the full review. But this is a preview. The command group for the Imperial Guard, and some riders. These also come with several weapon options as well, and the riders have a command group as well. Here's a mortar with crew and a cannon with crew. A lot of detail on that cannon. It's a work of art. Duncan Shadow is going kind of with Rangers for the month of May. Here we have the Ranger Multipart, several heads, torsos, arms, and weapons that you can put together. Here we have some fungus zombies, a fungus hag, pre-posed rangers, so you don't have to put them together. Rangers with daggers and knuckle dusters. Rangers with spears. Rangers with swords and shields. And a Ranger Woodsman as well. Might be good for Rangers of Shadow Deep. Dungeon Classics has given us a little bit of preview concept art. No renders just yet. Looks like we're kind of going for some undead this month. Yeah, definitely looks like undead. Epic Miniatures is going ahead and giving us both previews. I'm not going to hit everything in this video. We're just going to look at a preview here. So for update number 1, we have the Witch Forest, and those are Emerald Dragons, the second in their gem series. Here we see the Witch's Hut and Scatter, a Granny Witch, and a Mimic Girl. Man, they're really getting crazy now. Frog Swarms, Dogfolk Adventurer, and a Spider Hag. And again, most of these come in 3 sculpts. I'm just doing this very quickly because it's a preview video. Periton Beast and a Satyr Child, a Forest Drake and Crow Shaman, a Tree Dryad and River Hag, Rabbit Folk Brute, yeah, it's a killer bunny, and Witch Coven. And there's multiple Witch Covens here, so just to kind of give you an idea of some more of the witches that you can add to your collection. And there's yet another one, and there's others I'm not even showing you right now. And then the Emerald Dragon. Notice that the young Emerald Dragon actually comes with a saddle as well. For update number 2, they'll be doing Mechanus Clockwork, kind of similar to Dragon Trapper's Lodge. This is the Primus Avatar. Here is Secundus. Here we have Tertian and Nonaton. Apparently there are a total of 81 Nonatons and 9 Tertians. Here we have Decaton. There are 100 of them. And Pentadrone. Quadrone and Quadrone Adventurer. I feel like this is from the Plains or something. This rings a bell in my memory, but I'm not overly familiar with this world. Tridrone and Duodrone. 6 million on the left, 55 million on the right. And here's a Monodrone. There's about 300 million of them. Here's Sir Gooselot. And a few more of Sir Gooselot as well. He'll come in 3 sculpts. Here we have an Artificer Noel and Tinkerer Bethy, who has apparently lost her arm. A Hedgehog Arsonist and a Construct Queen. This is definitely a weird world. Automaton Guard and Queen's Knight Construct. A Horse Construct and a Catfolk Gunner Jasper. A Clockwork Golem and a Dragon Construct. So quite an interesting release from Epic. Flesh of Gods Miniatures is doing Draconic Eclipse this month. We have Bahadrax, the Primordial Death and Deathbringer. Blackwing Cult Knight and a Blackwing Cult Ritualist. Blackwing Cult Necromancer and a Half-Dragon Smasher. Dragonborn Zealot, Draconic Death Knight. Draconian Aberration, Blackwing Kobolds. They come in several different versions. A Manticore, a Worm-Tongue Sorcerer. Arkan Sky Redemption Mounted, or not. Weaven, the Last Fang, and Rodrak, Drakebane Vanguard. Idris, Scalebreaker, Orin, the Keeper of Forbidden Lore. And a couple of busts. Ghamak has given us a small preview of the art for May, so it looks like we'll be continuing with the Shogunate. And are those undead? Goetia Miniatures has given us a preview as well, the Chapel of Ghouls. That is Ada van Heidegger and Ivania Sansa. Again, these are the miniatures that kind of gray that line between fantasy and sci-fi for me. Not that it really matters, but Revulsion and Nausea comes in a couple other variants. There's Repugnance and Cragdol, the Lord of Pestilence. And a Dragon Spawn. Goonmaster Games has given us a small preview of what I believe is currently being called Bad Birds. I would say it's some sort of crowfolk, maybe. Hardwitch Games has given us a small preview as well, and a diorama of some nymphs on the right. Highlands Miniatures is returning to the Ratfolk, my term, not theirs. A small preview there. M3 Dicion has given us a preview here. They said that this will be the last month of the... there's a painting miniature that they're doing, and apparently this will be the last month for that tier. And here's some prints of this orc rider. And I believe this is a werewolf fighter here. This... Labyrinth Models has kind of gone away from the Greek mythology, and now we're heading into, well, I guess Arthurian. Here's King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, Morgana Le Fay, Mordred, Nimue, the Lady of the Lake, the Green Knight, Tristan, Princess Isolde, Lady Dindrain, and Sir Percival, Sir Lancelot, and Sir Galahad. Wonder if they'll include Gawain, since they included the Green Knight. Last Sword, there's a bunch of previews here. I'm just going to give you just a quick view. We have some Viking Ulfni, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Beastman. Loot Studios has given us a small preview of Shadow of Vengeance. I don't have a lot to include here because it just was not working for me today. Low-level encounter. Apparently we're going to dragons. Wait a second. How is that low level? Well, maybe with the baby there. But I'm pretty sure that low-level encounter will go pretty high pretty fast. Maybe it's one of those encounters you're not intended to actually fight. Mammoth Factory, we have Lord Shisharo, and you have to love that they include the reference art. Here we have Alicia Wonder, Jumboth. I was thinking he was undead, but I think that's just patches of fur. It's pretty cool. Obviously some version of the Mad Hatter. The pelt he's wearing, I just now realized that. Maybe that's not the March Hare after all. Maybe that's supposed to be the White Rabbit. A Lear Cat. Don't think that cat... maybe. I don't know. Mammoth Props has given us a weird preview, in my opinion. Looks like we may be getting some sort of flute, and not sure what that is on the right. This is probably a dice tower, maybe? Or a dice tray? Not sure what that will be. And so we got a cool prop to print out and put on the wall. And as a bonus, they've actually printed this out to show us what it looks like. So you can see it over there on the right. And on the left, we apparently have a staff. So some sort of serpent theme, it seems to be. Mini Monster Mayhem has just given us a small preview of the fact that this month will be Red Dragons. MOMMiniatures has given us a preview, and because it's a preview video, that's all we're going to look at for right now. Pretty neat look. One Page Rules is always finishing up the previous month and previewing the next, so sometimes it's hard to figure out what's what. It does look like for sure we'll be with Wood Elves for the month of May. No complaints from me. Papal 3D has given out a preview of the Black Wraith of Despair. Seems to be doing a lot of dioramas of one big monster versus a group of people. Primal Collectibles has given us a preview as we are going away from the Wasteland. We'll be doing Legacy of Blood. Punga Miniatures is giving us a small preview. Rescale Miniatures has given a preview of Totem of the Scale Wings. Very impressive renders. Or paint jobs. I believe these are just renders, though. Regardless, the painting, whether digital or real, is nicely done. Signum Games has given us a couple of pieces of concept art. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on in this first image, but I think this makes it a little bit more clear. Sir Nicholas Miniatures has given us a preview of this, which I could see going either fantasy or sci-fi, so we'll stick it in either place. SolGood Studios has given us a preview of their release this month. Seems to be some sort of rhinoceros folk warrior. Threat Factory has given us a small preview. Dwarves. Tiles from the Crypt has given us a look at what's coming in May. So this staircase that can be printed off in several different pieces. Looks like you can make it turn if you want to as well. And if you print it the other way, it makes like a double staircase. That's pretty cool. Titan Forge Studio has given us a preview of the Highborn Elves and Undead Dominion. Let's start with the Undead Dominion. Guess that's some sort of mummy on the left, or necromancer maybe. Looks like they're either taking from that or adding to it. Looks like the Headless Horseman of a sort has come back. And for the Highborn Elves, on the right we have the 3 Titans of Adventure. And of course they'll each come with the 3 variants. We have a few generic monsters for you to fight against or encounter. You don't always have to fight. And some bases. Twin Goddess Minis has given us some concept art. Titan Troll Miniatures has also given us some concept art. Of course, they continue going into the land of Strahd, so this may be a good match with Primal Collectibles. The neck on young man. Ugni has given us a preview of Los Luchadores, a halfling roster. Vae Victis is apparently going into rats as well, which may pair well with Highlands Miniatures. Wargames Atlantic, their previews are always all over the place, and I'm running out of time to get this done, so this is not as well put together as I would like. I do apologize for that. I will try to rectify that for the first month's review. Probably shouldn't point out that, but some Ogre Samurai, some mummies. We have quite a few things coming out from Wargames Atlantic, as always. Witchguild has given us a preview art. So has Witchsong. This is a Sea Strider Behemoth. And for now, that is our preview for the month of May. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.